Patrick McNeil back here with you at the intermission. As throughout the year, we're getting to touch base with the various staff members in the Cape Breton Eagles office, and joined now by Brad Chandler, new Director of Communications with the Cape Breton Eagles. His second week on the job. Brad, how are you enjoying life in the Eagles office so far?
We're in full swing here, Pat. It's going very well. I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, there's a lot of change going on right now, but the team we have here, it's young and we're ambitious and we're willing to make those changes, and I'm kind of going head first right in the thick of things.
I think that's what fans are going to want to hear. I mentioned Director of Communications. You're probably still feeling your way around, but describe what your responsibilities are going to be on a day-to-day basis as much as you anticipate in the early going.
A big thing about my position is that we actually work more as a team, where I am really focused on what you see in terms of from the team. So anything on social media, any kind of thing that is Eagles related, pretty much anything that is from the brand, it's my job to kind of build that up and trying to get people to know who these players are, what they're like on the ice, what they're like off the ice. As a team, we're really trying to build the brand.
You had an interesting first week because the town hall is one of the bigger events and people saw your face and your voice because you were reading the questions from the audience. How nice was that to get thrown right into the fire, so to speak, and get to know the fans and have them get to know you right away?
That's really how you do it, right? That's how you get used to things like this, is that I had no choice but to kind of get used to things. Like I said, I've only been here for probably 10 or 11 days and I feel like I've been here for a year just because it's that fast paced, and especially with this kind of team where things are changing so quickly and we want to make that change. I like it that way. I like coming in and saying, all right, this is what we want to do. This is where we want to be. This is where we are now. What do we have to do to get there? There's no days off when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Fans will see a lot of written content on the website. I've contributed that, but a lot of that's coming from you as well. You have a writing background with the Inverness Oran. Tell us a little bit about your days with that paper.
First, I'd like to say that anything that people read that they don't like, that's probably you that's writing it.
He knows this game already.
No, yeah. I have a journalism background, so I have a degree in journalism. I only graduated last year, but for the last 4 years, when I wasn't in school, I was writing for the Inverness Oran newspaper. I feel like I'm equipped in storytelling, which I try to use in this new element now with the Eagles. For example, I also work for the Cape Breton West Islanders, the U18s, where I, for the last few years, have kind of fulfilled a similar role. Obviously not to this extent.
Right.
Coming in here, I feel very confident. I feel very comfortable doing what I'm doing on the day-to-day.
I think people probably notice as well, some old photos pop up, the classic shot of Marc-Andre Fleury and Adam Russo. How much did you enjoy digging through that and maybe learning about some of the history yourself, because you would have been pretty young during those days?
Well, that's why we got guys like you to tell me the rights from the wrongs. I'm from Waikagama. I grew up an Eagles fan. I grew up coming to the games. I love seeing kids feel the same way that I felt coming to the games. These guys were superstars. The older you get, you realize they're just kids. As you get older and you realize that you can still remember how you felt seeing the Eagles. So looking back and seeing all that history and thinking now that this is the current history for some of these kids that are seeing it now. These are the kids that they're thinking, oh, remember looking back at Cam Squires and stuff like that. So being able to be on the other side of things and watching kids do stuff like that, it's pretty cool.
Passage of time is always a fascinating thing. You alluded to this, it being a new team. We're not talking about the team on the ice, so the changes there as well, but up in the office, because Carter and Nick McGilvery are both doing their positions as well. A little less new than you, but all still pretty new. What's the vibe been like as you three have navigated through this together?
Well, you know what? I think you can look at things, we're all young. I think you can look at that in two ways. Some people look at it as inexperience. Other people look at it as it's ambition. It's people who want to do the work. It's people who have passion and want to get their teeth into things and kind of go and actually do it. With Carter and Nick, they're obviously a good team, a couple good teammates, and Isabel and Joey. Obviously, Joey is so well respected in Sydney and a guy that really knows what he's talking about and has a lot of credibility. So I think learning from a guy like him and working as a team is how we're going to get things done. And I actually feel really confident and really well about where this team's going to go this season and beyond.
One of the great stories in the preseason for the Eagles was Rhyah Stewart coming in, and she had a great performance. People may have seen the documentary on her, which you had a hand in. Tell us a little about the Rhyah documentary.
Like I said, when I worked with the Cape Breton West Islanders, so this would have been my third year. Last year, I knew that Rhyah would have been making the team coming in, and she was only 15 at the time. I knew she was kind of flying under the radar, but I knew that there was a story there. That was the journalist in me, right? I knew that there was a story. Only girl in the whole entire league. It was something that I wanted to do, but I didn't have a whole lot of time to flesh it out because I didn't focus on the Islanders. Was my full-time thing. So I was just looking for an opportunity, and in my final project in journalism school, me and my partner Chase Fitzgerald, we had 6 weeks to work on a documentary. And the first thing I thought of, I said, I need to do something with Rhyah. I need to do it because I know that story's there and it needs to be told. We had lots of fun, and Rhyah is just the coolest girl, and she's so confident, and she's a sweet girl, and she's tough as can be. So she made the whole process very, very fun and very cool, and it actually turned out really well, and it came out at the perfect time because I think right afterwards, that was obviously before the Eagles, but it was right when she came back. It was the playoffs, and it was right when she got back from Canada Games. So it was a perfect storm. And then obviously you look look at her now. Since then, she's going to be going to University of Wisconsin next year, but the sky's the limit for her, and we're just lucky that we were able to pick up that short piece of her life and share it.
One of the stats leaders in the U18 league, having a really good season. Another connection you have to Cape Breton West is Blade Mann-Dixon, Cape Breton Eagles goaltending coach. He's in his first year. How excited are you for Blade to have that opportunity?
Blade, another guy, like I said, young, but wise beyond his years. He's been here. He's played those 4 years in the queue. He's played all those years at St. FX. Obviously, he knows how these players are feeling. He's been there. He brings that really valuable piece of the puzzle. I think coming right out of his career and going right into this job, I think it's going to be actually beneficial because he's so fresh and he knows the way it is. It's not like he played 20 years ago and he's trying to bring up 20-year-old ideas. He's a guy that the goalies look up to. He's got a great relationship with them, and I'm lucky that I get to live with him and also work with him.
As you said, he's not very disconnected from the game. The last question I'll ask, Brad Chandler, Eagles Director of Communications, does he look like former Moosehead star Alex Doucette?
You know what? I thought I got past that. I might have to shave my head or grow a beard or something like that, or get some colored eye contacts, because I don't know if I'll ever get away from that.
Well, he's starting his career in the pros. You're starting your career. Look forward to success for both of you. Best of luck going forward, Brad. Thanks for this.
Hey, thanks, Pat.
That's Brad Chandler, Eagles Director of Communications, joining us at the intermission. You're listening to Celtic Kubota, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.